Afternoon, everyone. I'm Judge Jackie Powell, and we're back on the record for the afternoon. We're going to begin with the first appearance docket. For those of you who are here for first appearance, when I call your name, and I will tell you what you're being charged with, and then we'll be able to discuss release conditions. You have a right to an attorney, so if an attorney from the Public Defender's Office is representing you, you may want to speak with that attorney before you come up, because everything that you say is being recorded and can be used against you, especially if your intention is to fight the charges and go to trial. If you have a private attorney, when you come up, you can also let me know that. In the courtroom, I do have an attorney from the State Attorney's Office, and I do have an attorney from the Broward County Public Defender's Office. There's confinement status, as well as pretrial services, and the clerk is here to keep good record. So we're starting with Barbara Jackson Nemhard, and the docket is smaller this afternoon, so I'm just going to go in order, okay?
She's here, Judge, next corner.
Ms. Nemhard, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Ma'am, you're before the court today for a misdemeanor case. It's a possession of controlled substance, and they're saying that you missed court last September 30th, 2018. So I do find probable cause. What do you want to do, Ms. Nemhard?
Because I didn't receive the notice of the court, I like to just reset the court date.
Well, here's the issue. Madam Clerk, I don't know if you can tell me, because she's scheduled for court tomorrow.
Oh, she's scheduled for court tomorrow?
You are scheduled for court tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're scheduled to be in your misdemeanor division tomorrow. If I ROR her, I don't know that she's going to be out in time to be able to get to court. So
I will.
is that, well, I know you want to go to court, but I don't know if you'll be able to get out in time to get to court tomorrow morning. Is there any way that we can change the date?
Yes.
All right, so then that she wouldn't have to go tomorrow? Well, I don't have a calendar in front of me. Yes.
Have a seat where you are.
That can happen? All right. Okay, Miss Nemhard, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ROR you, and you have court tomorrow at 8:30.
Okay.
All right, and so you must make sure that you go to court tomorrow, otherwise you're gonna be right back in this place.
Okay, may I ask who is the judge?
All right, it is, I'm sorry. It's Judge Carpenter Toy, Debbie Carpenter Toy. I can't, I'm sorry.
Room number 6175.
And the room number is 6175.
Okay.
All right, so that's where you've got to be tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Good luck, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Holly Lucinda O'Brien.
Doors are, Your Honor.
Ms. O'Brien, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Ma'am, you're before the court on one count of DUI, alcohol or drugs, first offense, and 2 DUI with damage to property or person of another.
Your Honor, Ms. O'Brien was wondering whether her bond had been posted.
Do we know if her bond has been posted? All right. Ms. O'Brien, I do find probable cause, and I've been told by confinement status that your bond has been posted. So good luck, ma'am. Davi Kondrat,
Your Honor, that's North Broward. She's a medical reset.
medical reset. Thank you. Ashley Brazil. Okay.
Can't do it. She's gonna be next.
Angela Rose Iacobelli.
She's in North
North
Broward,
Broward,
Judge.
Your Honor.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Afternoon.
You're before the court this afternoon for one count of possession of buprenorphine, possession of cannabis 20 grams or less, possession of drug paraphernalia, and counts 4 and 5 are traffic infractions not for magistrate. And I do find probable cause.
Your Honor, Ms. Jacobelli was also wondering if her bond
Is
had
it a
been
J
posted.
or I? Is I?
It's Iacobelli.
Iacobelli. Thank you.
Yes.
Well, that explains why I couldn't find her in the computer.
Okay. All right. But the first letter is an I.
Starts with an I, yes.
We got
Yes,
it.
ma'am.
All right. Okay, so I do find probable cause, ma'am, and I've been told that your bond has been posted. Good luck.
Thank you.
You're
Have a great
welcome.
week.
You too.
Yes,
Natalie Tremblay.
Her traveling companion is with her, Judge.
I'm sorry?
The gentleman who was with her on the plane is
Okay, Natalie
she's
Tremblay.
in Maine jail, I believe.
She's here, present, Judge in Maine.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, you're before the court for one count of false report, bomb explosive weapon on an airplane, and I do find probable cause. What do the parties wish to say?
Judge, I believe other facilities are off the mic, so
You believe what, sir?
if we can have the other facilities turn off their mic, because I'm hearing all this feedback. from
Yes,
different-
North Broward or Conti or Paul Ryan, if you guys could turn the mics off, we're getting a lot of feedback.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So, do the parties wish to be heard as to the bond?
I'll let the state go first, Judge.
Thank you. Your Honor, I'm requesting a $10,000 bond.
Judge, and speaking with Tremblay, my understanding is right now she's self-employed. She's trying to head up her own business, and from what she informed me, she's running at a loss right now. She appreciates her boyfriend being here. That's the person that she's going to be relying on to post her monetary bond. My understanding is this is her first arrest ever in her whole life. She's 53 years old. She is from Canada, specifically from Montreal. Judge, I am not sure if her boyfriend's in a position to post that sort of monetary bond. I have read the PC affidavit. I do understand in the times that we're living in, this is basically a horrible joke gone wrong, and I believe Ms. Tremblay realizes that now, Judge. But depending on what her boyfriend, if her boyfriend can afford that monetary bond, we'd have no objection, Judge. If he couldn't, then potentially maybe we'd be asking for $5,000, but I'm not sure of her boyfriend's financial resources.
Sir, do you wish to say anything?
Sorry. My English is not very well.
Oh, okay. Does Miss Tremblay need an interpreter?
Judge, her first language is French, but she does speak English.
Okay.
But she is informing me that her boyfriend does not speak English and he speaks French.
All right.
Well, my French is pretty bad. Do you have any money to get her out
Well,
of jail?
does Miss Tremblay know what he can afford?
From what she told me, he installs washing and drying machines. So when I did speak to her as far as a monetary bond, we were going to be requesting $5,000. She thought maybe he could come up with $500, but I haven't spoken to him to confirm.
All right. Oh.
It's $5,000 to sign.
Well, we don't know yet. The judge has to make that decision. Do you have $5,000?
On my credit card, yes.
All right, then, Judge, I'd ask for a $5,000 bond then.
All right, I will impose a bond of $5,000. Good luck.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, good luck. The bond is 5,000.
Where to pay?
Go to the jail.
Go to the jail now?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's right behind us. Right around, yeah, right around. Okay, good luck.
Matthew Peter Carpenter. Carpentier.
Mr. Carpenter is here present, Judge Amin.
Sir, you're before the court this afternoon for one count of touch or strike battery. And the court does find probable cause. What does the parties wish to say as the bond?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm requesting a $10,000 bond, no victim contact. It would appear Mr. Carpenter has no ties to the community, and while he's charged with a misdemeanor battery, I am concerned, based on the allegations, that somehow he snuck back into this motel or hotel room he was staying in and grabbed this woman when she was going into the room that she had checked into.
Mr. Carpenter, Judge, is denying certain aspects of these allegations, Judge. I did have a chance to speak to him earlier today. At this time, we're going to be asking that the court keep the standard bond in place.
All right, I do find probable cause, but as to the bond, I'm going to impose $5,000. Good luck, sir.
No victim contact? Your
And
Honor?
no victim contact. What's the name of the, do we have the name?
Yes, Judge. Shanae Thomason.
Sinead, no contact with Sinead Thompson. And I guess I should say, no return to this location either.
Thank you, Judge.
Good luck, sir. Gavin Anderson. Gavin Anderson?
He's here present, Judge Amin.
Mr. Anderson, you're here for a misdemeanor capias on a possession of cannabis matter. You failed to appear in court. Oh, this is a capias from 2016. So the court does find probable cause. What does Mr. Anderson wish to do?
Judge, I did talk to Mr. Anderson, gave him his choices. He does realize this is a 2016 case, but he wishes to resolve this case. So we're going to be asking if the court would consider extending offer or withhold judicial notice of time served.
Did the state have an offer for Mr. Anderson?
You have to be a withhold court cause.
All right. All right, Mr. Anderson, you wish to resolve your case?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
You can put your hand down, sir. Mr. Anderson, do you understand the proceedings that you're in today?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you need more time to speak with your attorney?
No, ma'am.
Is anyone forcing you to resolve your case?
No, ma'am.
Are you under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
No, ma'am.
And do you understand that you do have the right to go to trial? By taking a plea today, you're giving up that right.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Have you ever been treated for a mental or emotional illness?
No, ma'am.
And do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, that by taking a plea, it could subject you to deportation or immigration changes?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
All
ma'am.
right, what plea do you wish to enter, Mr. Anderson?
No contest.
Sir, I accept your no contest plea. I find that it's freely and voluntarily given, and I sentence you to a withhold adjudication and court costs. Good luck, sir. John Henry Murphy.
Judge, he's here present at main.
Mr. Murphy, you're before the court this afternoon for one count of resisting officer without violence. Two, not for magistrate, is riding bike with no light, and three is a misdemeanor capias for a petty theft that you failed to appear in court January 10, 2019. I do find probable cause. What does Mr. Murphy wish to do?
Judge, in speaking Mr. Murphy on the misdemeanor resisting without, and on count 3, the capias for petty theft, he wishes to ask court if you would consider resolving these matters today.
Is there a state offer?
One moment, Judge. One moment. The time served on both counts, on 1 and 3.
All right,
He wishes to accept the state's offer, Judge.
all right, Mr. Murphy, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
You can put your hand down, sir. Mr. Murphy, do you understand the proceedings that you're in today?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you need more time to speak with your attorney?
No, no,
Is anyone forcing you to resolve your case today?
no, ma'am.
Are you under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
No, ma'am.
Have you ever been treated for mental or emotional illness?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you currently taking any medications that would affect your decision-making today?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand that you have the right to go to trial, that by taking a plea, you're giving up that right?
Yes.
And do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, that by taking a plea, it could subject you to deportation or immigration changes?
Yes.
What plea do you wish to enter, Mr. Murphy?
No contest.
Sir, I accept your no contest plea. I find that it's freely and voluntarily given. As to counts 1 and 3, your sentence will be adjudication and time served. On count 2, I'll dismiss the traffic infraction. Good luck, sir. Winston Plummer.
Mr. Plummer's here at main, Judge, approaching. Come on up, Mr. Plummer.
Mr. Plummer, you're before the court for one count of grand theft. And the court does, I do find probable cause. Do the parties wish to be heard as to bond?
Not at this time, Judge.
All right, Mr. Plummer, your bond is $1,000. Good luck, sir.
Your Honor, our Creole interpreter is here.
Which case do we need the
I believe it's family members for Mr. Mercier on page 10.
Okay. Madam Interpreter, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to translate from Creole to English and from English to Creole to the best of your ability?
I do. Saint Ange.
Last name again?
Saint Ange.
Saint Ange. Good afternoon, ma'am. Yeah, both, I guess you have to get as close to the mic as well.
Who is it?
This is Rosinski Mercier.
Yeah, this is his mother, Judge.
Ça, c'est maman le juge.
Okay. All right. Mr. Mercier, you're before the court this afternoon for one count of robbery, no firearm or weapon. 2, possession of cannabis, 20 grams or less. And 3, criminal mischief. I do find probable cause as to all 3 counts. Do the parties wish to be heard as to bond?
Your mic's off.
Mr. Romero?
I was just explaining to Mr. Mercier that, first, the state's gonna give a bond recommendation and then we're gonna go.
I'm looking up his priors. Mr. Mayor, we can wait or you can go. It's up to you.
Judge, in speaking, Mr. Mercier, he's 22 years old, been here his whole entire life. He is working.
La travail,
He works for Amazon at Miami,
la travail pour Amazon dans Miami.
at the warehouse,
Non, et warehouse.
where he's been employed now for about 5 months.
Côté la travail pour 5 mois déjà.
He's a graduate of MacArthur High School,
Il
class of
gradué high school
2015.
en 2015.
He lives in Hollywood with his parents.
Il a vécu dans Hollywood ensemble avec parents li.
From Mr. Mercier advised me, he has a clean record.
Monsieur Mercier dit que il peut pas jamais gen crime sur dossier.
And he did advise me he's a registered voter in our community.
Et il fait me connaître que il était enregistré pour qu'à voter dans la communauté.
Judge, he's relying on his family to help him out with his financial bond.
Juge la côté sa famille pour aider financièrement avec caution.
Now, he did tell me that his family is experiencing some financial problems
Il fait me connaître que famille a un problème finance.
and they're not going to be able to afford that much, Judge.
Et pas capable et il pas de moyen pour payer caution ça.
My understanding is the father is employed, he's a plumber.
Nous sommes comprendre papa son plombier.
Judge, I did advise Mr. Mercier that at this time he was arrested, but he will be getting a court notice in the mail when to come back to court.
Des faits, monsieur Mercier connaît que pour le moment, il a arrêté et que l'a joint dans Melly, date pour le retourner dans le tribunal.
And he says he definitely wants to come to court because he doesn't know much about the allegations.
Il dit que il voulait retourner dans le tribunal parce qu'il ne connaît pas un pile d'accusations.
We're going to be asking for a $2,000 bond on count one, Judge.
Alors, on a demandé pour $2,000 comme caution dans le premier crime. Non?
Your Honor, I'm going to be requesting a $7,500 bond and no victim contact.
Le juge m'a demandé $7,500 comme caution et pas de contact ensemble avec la victime. Non?
It would appear this was an incident that became violent because Mr. Mercier became violent.
Parce que son incident qui vient violent parce que monsieur Mercier était venu violent.
I would note that there is an independent witness to this incident.
M'a pas fait connaître que gagné un témoin indépendant dans l'incident.
The witness corroborates the victim's version of events.
Témoin collaboré ensemble avec les témoignages que victime n'a été bail.
And it does not appear that the victim did anything to provoke the level of violence that Mr. Mercier displayed.
Et il pas semblé que les victimes n'a été provoqué monsieur Mercier pour qu'il agisse avec violence que il a agi.
I would just add, Judge,
M'a pas ajouté tout juge
that in addition to his mother being
que
present,
en plus que maman est présent là,
his sisters and his brother are also present.
seul avec frère là tout.
Certainly an indication that he has very strong ties to the family.
Pour montrer que il y a un gros lien ensemble avec la famille.
It's also my understanding that he has lived with his parents all of his life.
Et dans ça que me comprendre, il a vécu avec parents li depuis le fait.
Thank you, everyone.
Merci tout le monde.
Ma'am, thank you for being
Madame,
here.
merci Kola.
And it is unfortunate that we're here, but I do
Et
understand the
dommage que nous là,
circumstances
même
surrounding
comprendre
this,
circonstances
these allegations.
qui fait que nous avons accusation ça là.
And so I
Alors,
do find probable
Nous
cause,
jouons une cause probable.
and I believe that a reasonable bond at this
Et
time
m'couais
is
et
$5,000 on
caution qui
count
est
one.
raisonnable pour le moment, c'est $5,000 pour accusation 1.
I will not impose a bond on count two. No
Nous
bond is
pas
required.
mettre caution pour compte 2
And the bond on the criminal mischief is $100.
et caution pour troisième là, pour mauvaise conduite là, c'est $100.
Thank you very much.
Merci beaucoup.
Your Honor, just ask for no
And no
contact.
contact with. Do we have the name of the victim?
Ou
Yes,
pas qu'il y ait de contact ensemble avec victime là?
Ingrid Altagracia.
Ingrid Altagracia.
No contact with her, sir.
Pa gen kontak ansam avè li, monsieur.
All right, good luck.
Bonne chance.
Thank you.
Merci.
Next, we have Cortland Henry.
He's approaching, Judge, from what Mr. Henry advised me, that he believes that his family hired Mr. Brad Cohen.
Your Honor, his attorney just.
Oh.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Henry, you're before the court today for 2 counts of premeditated murder and 2 counts of accessory after the fact.
Good morning, Your Honor. Christine Bradley on behalf of the state of Florida. How are you?
Good afternoon, Ms. Bradley.
I'm Robert Bouchel.
Good morning, sir. Good afternoon. It's afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
All right.
Judge, the state, along with defense, is asking for this to be rolled 24 hours to tomorrow afternoon's docket, so defense has an opportunity to go and speak with his client with regards to the charges.
All right. And then for tomorrow afternoon? Is
Yes,
that what
Your
you're
Honor.
asking? And then I will be presented with,
Correct. Facts to support the probable cause thereof.
thank you.
I'll see you tomorrow morning.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Afternoon. Waikiki Jean.
Wiki Jean is here present, Judge. He declined the service as a public defender.
Mr. Jean, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, how you doing, ma'am?
I am well. You do understand that you are entitled to legal representation at this stage? Is it correct that you do not wish to have the attorney from the Public Defender's Office represent you?
Listen, on my case, I have an attorney, but on this one, they told me I had 2 charges. But now I see it's more than 2 charges. So.
Okay. All right, I'll let you know that you've got 2 counts of criminal attempt to solicit, conspire. Counts 3 and 4 is using a 2-way communication device to facilitate a felony. And then counts 5 and 6 are felony VOP pretrial. And those last 2 are not for magistrate and there are no bond holds. So the bonds that are in place currently for count 1 is $3,500, count 2, $3,500, count 3, $1,000, count 4, $1,000, and like I said before, counts 5 and 6 are no bond holds. So I will leave those bonds in place. You should be before your felony judge tomorrow morning at 8:30. And then I guess your attorney will be there to help you resolve those matters.
Yeah, see, I don't have an attorney on them new cases because when I got arrested, the police officer said that I only had 2, the 2 warrants. He didn't say I had the new charges.
Right, so now I've just told you what the new charges are. All right? Good luck, sir. Kevin Burt.
Mr. Burt is approaching, Judge. He's here at Maine.
Mr. Burt, you're before the court this afternoon for 1 count of grand theft and 2 grand theft auto. And I do find probable cause. Do the parties wish to be heard as to bond?
I do, Judge. And speaking to Mr. Burt, right now he's going through a financial crisis. He's homeless. He is looking for work. He was previously employed at a restaurant as a server, but unfortunately he's not working there any longer. Now, Judge, he's been here in our community for 1 year. He's 6 years old.
I just moved here in October.
Okay, so talk for 2018. He's 26 years old. He advised me he does have, he's been arrested before but it's been like about 3 years since he's had contact with the criminal justice system. Judge, we're gonna be asking that the court consider releasing him on standard pretrial release. I believe I read a little bit of the PC if my memory serves me correctly, and I believe one of the concerns of the officers was he may have been under the influence, so at this time we wouldn't object if the court were inclined to release him on standard pretrial release with a random alcohol and substance test.
Your Honor, I'm going to be requesting a $5,000 bond. Based on this report, my concern is just what Mr. Burt will do if he's let on the streets right now. It wasn't the officer's concern that Mr. Romero is referring to. It was Mr. Burt's statement to law enforcement that if he doesn't get drug treatment immediately, he's going to die. If that's true and his situation is that dire, I'm concerned about not only Mr. Burt's own welfare or what acts he may take in order to get drugs if out on the streets right now, if he's that desperate. He does have criminal history out of Texas and California, multiple priors out of Texas for theft, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon out of California. Criminal mischief. And on the flip side, if his situation is not that dire, then he was making things up to the police in hopes of leniency, and that would cause me additional concern.
Judge, then Judge, if that's the case, then we'd be asking you, besides random testing, maybe a drug evaluation follow-up. So then basically he could be evaluated, and whatever I believe the professionals determined that he needed as far as help, then he would be in a position to go ahead and follow those recommendations. So that's what then the defense would be asking for, based on what Mr. Lender just stated.
All right, I do find probable cause. I am going to impose a monetary bond, counts 1 and 2, with $1,000 each. If Mr. Burt is able to post his bond, there's also going to be a pretrial release imposed with random drug and alcohol testing. Good luck,
Judge,
sir.
in
Yes.
that case, he's not going to be able to afford to postpone. With the court sign an order recommending that he be placed in the SAP program while he's here with us.
I will.
Thank you, Judge.
Yes. Yes.
No.
Alexander Glover.
Mr. Glover's here, present main judge. He declined the services of public defender.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Mr. Glover. You're facing two counts of leaving the scene of a crash involving damage, and counts 3 and 4 are violation of felony probation. I only found probable cause for 1 count of the leaving the scene. I couldn't find 2.
That's fine. That's fine, Judge.
All right. So find probable cause for 1 count of leaving the scene of a crash involving damage. I guess that's the 2 I find no probable cause. And 3 and 4 are violation of probation, and you will be going to your felony division judge February 14th. That's tomorrow at 8:30.
Wait, tomorrow, ma'am? Because I had court today and they told me I had court on Friday.
Oh, well, I can only tell you what my notes indicate. It says tomorrow.
Okay, so it says tomorrow, though.
Yes, sir.
They just told me Friday. All right. Thank you.
All right. Good luck, sir. Count two. Ahmad Jaquez.
Bonded, Judge?
Cody Wells.
Mr. Wells is here present, Judge at Maine. He declined the service of public defender.
Good morning.
Good afternoon, Mr. Wells. You're before the court for one count of grand theft auto, 2 is possession of cocaine, and 3 is a violation of probation matter. The violation of probation is a no bond hold, and count 1, the bond, I do find probable cause, and count 1, the bond is $1,000, count 2 is $1,000, and you should be in Division FC tomorrow at 8:30 as well on the violation of probation. Good luck, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, then we can go to our hearing docket. And Madam Clerk, did you give me a, for the, yeah. Wait, I have one, I think we printed it. Never mind. Sorry. Yeah, no, I printed one. Timothy Mejias.
Mr. Mejias is here present, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Mejias was arrested on February 9th, and bonds were imposed at $1,000 and $3,500. You're here for a second look at your bond status. Is there anything anyone wants to tell me in regards to that?
Yes,
Yes, Judge. Oh, I'm sorry, I'll let Mr. Blunder go.
by all means.
No, I insist.
That's fine. Mr. Mejias was arrested 10 days prior to this arrest on another felony, and that was January 30th for grand theft, a capias on a misdemeanor theft, and he had his bond on another theft surrendered. So it looks like right now he's got a total of 4 theft-related cases open, 2 felony, 2 misdemeanor. He also has another petty theft that he resolved October of last year. 2017 dealing in stolen property with a violation of probation. 2017 criminal use of personal identification, credit card fraud, and theft. He was sentenced to 364 days on those 2 cases.
Judge, I understand Mr. Mejias has priors basically involving the same thing. However, in speaking to Mr. Mejia, there's no one that's going to be able to afford to post his $4,500 bond. Judge, he lives in Margate with his grandmother. His grandmother is elderly. He helps her out as far as financially because he's working. He works at Marco's Pizza. He also, the job is still waiting on him. He uses his earnings also to help with child support. Judge, there's just a lot of people depending on Mr. Mejias, and I would normally ask for standard pretrial, but because of Mr. Lender's concerns as far as his priors and the case is similar in nature, Judge, at this time, we're going to be asking the court to consider releasing Mr. Mejias on level 2 pretrial with a monitor.
All right, after reviewing the probable cause and hearing from the parties, at this time, I will release Mr. Mejias to a level 2 pretrial release. Sir, you must report to pretrial within 24 hours of your release, and failure to do so. That's right. Okay, all right, I'm just used to seeing that, so. You'll be fitted with a GPS, so, so they'll come to you to fit you with the GPS.
Yes, ma'am.
Good luck,
Thank you,
sir.
Judge.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Jim Stidham? Which one is his? All right, so Mr. Stidham was arrested on February 9th. This is February 9th is a big, was arrested on February 9th, and he's back for a second look on his bond status. The charge is criminal mischief. I have. All right, do the parties wish to be heard?
Judge, yes, and speaking Mr. Stedham, obviously he's still here. No one's going to be able, and I do see the bond, $500, Judge, but he says no one can afford to pay that right now. From what I believe he was telling me, he was speaking to me. Right now, the family having a difficult time. His brother, unfortunately, is very ill. Mr. Stedham advised me, I believe, that due to a serious illness, his brother is not going to be around very much longer, Judge. He wants to be there for his family. He's asking to be released on pretrial release.
Please, Your Honor.
You know, I would know someone dealing with, and I sympathize, but you would think someone dealing with this might try to stay out of trouble a little bit more. In the past year, he's had a battery against someone, trespass and disorderly conduct against a tow truck driver, and now a criminal mischief where for some reason he decided to scratch, I'll be nice and say an unflattering word, into a woman's vehicle and slash both front tires of the vehicle. Actually, I don't think it was a woman's vehicle. It looks like it was a man's vehicle.
All right, I've read the probable cause affidavit, and I believe that $500 is a reasonable bond amount in this case, so I'm gonna leave the bond at $500. Good luck, sir. And we have Daniela Paternostro.
She's in North Broward, Judge.
That's North Broward, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Come on in.
Your Honor, we have a gentleman from the Agave Recovery Center, Mr. Steve Church, who's here on behalf of Ms. Paternostro's family and her.
All right, Miss Paternostro was arrested on February 9th. The charge is possession of cocaine, and her bond is currently at $1,000. All right, Mr. Linder.
Your Honor, I've got concerns about ties to the community. I know the report does say that it shows an Oakland Park address, but I don't know how long she's been residing there. At this point in time, I would be asking that the $1,000 bond be kept in place.
All right. Mr. Reed,
Based on my conversations with her family and with Mr. Church, I think that that might be best for the time being. I know that she's not happy about it, but I have some very serious concerns myself.
And obviously, I have no objection to this being raised again at a later date before Judge Shear. Circumstances might be different at that point.
Yes, I think they will be.
all right, so I'm not going to make any changes at this time. The bond is $1,000, and I'll leave it at that.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you for being here, sir.
Good luck, Daniela.
No, it's 1,000. It's already 1,000. Edward Reed?
Mr. Reed is approaching, Judge. He's here at Maine. Come on up, sir.
Mr. Reed was arrested on February 9th for grand theft. His bond is currently at $2,500. What do the parties wish to tell me?
Judge, I don't know if the state is going to, would have an objection having Mr. Reed released on pretrial.
I'm sorry, Mr. Romero, I didn't quite catch that.
Oh, I'm asking if the state would have an objection as far as releasing Mr. Reed on pretrial release.
I really, frankly, Judge, I don't know at this point. I'm pulling his history to see, I'm trying to determine why Judge Halal, I imagine she had a reason for
That is-
raising the bond to $2,500.
I was wondering the same thing, Judge. I mean, Mr. Reed's been arrested in the past, but it's been a while. And I tried to read the report, and I didn't see anything from the report that stood out. And actually, one thing did stand out. And I mean, the many times I've read reports, I've never seen an LPO officer actually basically agree to have him released on pretrial release, or an arresting officer even asking that of the LPO. So that was unusual, but it worked to the benefit of Mr. Reed. So I figured out, I just couldn't wrap my head around the justification as far as a bond increase from 1,000 to 2,500.
I mean, I'm not doubting the justification. I'm just looking to see what's here before we go any further. Because I wasn't here. Thank you for your patience, Judge.
No problem.
Showing theft, and this isn't in chronological order per se. Theft out of Day 2011. A theft out of Broward 2017. Theft out of Broward 2010. Theft out of Broward 2013. Theft out of Broward 2014. End of record.
Right, based on the allegations in this probable cause affidavit, I am inclined to reduce the bond to $1,000. And that's a change that I'll make at this time.
Should make sure Judy gets
This is Mr. Reed. And then Michael Jones.
Mr. Jones is approaching, Judge.
Mr. Jones was arrested on February 9th as well. He's got a $2,500 bond on a petty theft. And then $1,000 on a possession of cocaine. It's a felony petty theft.
Judge, I don't know if your JA gave you a copy of the booking sheet originally.
I have, yes.
The first thing I noticed on the booking sheet is it looks like Mr. Jones has, I didn't have time to count them all, but minimum 15 aliases that he's used in the past. His criminal history, 2017 felony theft, 2016 grand theft, 18 months state prison as a habitual offender, 2015 under the name Melvin Crosby, grand theft VOP, 18 months habitual offender, 2014 possession of cocaine, same sentence after a VOP, felony theft 2013, same sentence, theft 2013, theft 2013, theft and resisting a merchant 2012, felony theft 2010, another one in 2010, loitering and prowling 09, theft 09, felony theft 09. Goes on from there, Judge.
Judge, as you see, Mr. Jones has a $3,500 bond. He can't afford that. Right now, he was on disability. Now he's reapplying to have his disability benefits reestablished. He is 62 years old, Judge. He's asking for the court to consider releasing him on pretrial release.
Right, that's going to be denied based on everything that's before me. I believe that the bond amounts are reasonable, and so I won't make any changes at this time. Good luck, sir. Is that it?
I think so.
Wow.
Another exciting day in Magistrate.